back when our industry started, everything was literally written on a piece of paper in terms of medical records and everything was communicated, in person. And I think COVID really, it just like fast forwarded us into something that like is heavily reliant on this technology. And so I think you're completely right in the fact that like I love the idea that there are these three layers and, everybody only kind of thinks about the guy in the khakis, like, coming and fixing their little camera so that the audio and everything connects because everybody's on Zoom calls now, right? Like, I think that middle layer, Amber, like, where do you feel like, particularly in senior housing, as an industry, that we could do better? And like, what is it about like that your passion in driving that piece of it? Because you said like, hey, most people like tech, yes, innovation, sure, but the middle layer, like, where are we missing the boat, and how could we be doing better?
Well, I think the first place to start is to understand what is the technology culture at your organization overall, but especially what is the technology culture with leadership. Technology is here. It's in the world. It's in there. It's in our industry. It's here for residents. It's here for staff. You have to know what is your strategy to address that,
Hmm.
and is everybody on the same page? Because residents are going to ask for more and more tech. It's going to become a competitive differentiator.
Uh-huh.
It's a tool that can be utilized to provide better, longer lives and could be a competitive differentiator you could talk about. But at a bare minimum, it can keep your staff better engaged, better able to manage their jobs on a daily basis. And I feel like it's something that is not really talked about or thought about even at the leadership level is what is our strategic direction? It's almost an afterthought. And it's really interesting because no community, no company in the world today can function without technology for even 5 minutes. But it's not something people talk or think about a lot. And one hand, I can understand it's not that interesting. And it's complicated and it's expensive and people just kind of don't even know where to start. So that's why I think it's so important to set what that leadership culture is and figure out what you're going to do. Are you going to just keep doing what you've always been doing, which is a legitimate response? Are you going to be proactive? How are you going to do change management to actually intentionally change the culture and create a different technology culture if that's what you want to do? And I will say that there's a lot of organizations in our space, it doesn't make sense to do it because they're buying and selling, there's churn, there's turnover, they don't wanna make the investment, and that's fine, but understand what your strategy is and have a path forward. Most of the clients we work with are very invested in making change with technology. And so I think, we do technology assessments. This is a core service that we offer. I've done over 120 of them at more than 85 communities and also in the UK. And so what we do is this exactly what we just discussed with the pyramid. So we look at every single aspect of the pyramid, especially staff interviews to understand their pain points and build a comprehensive roadmap of where you are today and where you should be going and what you should be considering with all of these components. So to go back to your question, I think it's the way it's missed because it's not thought about, talked about, or even considered. Secondly, there's no plan or process to actually move forward with this and decisions are being made within departments. I want this software. I want that software. Where I met a vendor at a conference. I'm going to go buy this software. And there's no like comprehensive IT governance and decision making process.